So right after I did my last video, my heart started palpitating. I was trying to sleep and I kept waking up because my heart was just palpitating so fast. And every time I fell asleep, it was doing that. And by the morning, I was exhausted from lack of sleep. My chest had this tightness in it. I'm like, what is going on? Um, Actually, let me backtrack just a little bit. Since I still had the ear infection, and my sinus infection was just getting worse. The doctor put me on steroids, and they were pills. It's like a pack that you take, like 6 one day and then 5 the next day. And it's just a 6-day course where you take one pill less each day. And oh my goodness, my chest was really hurting me really bad, and it started hurting me to swallow. That's my esophagus. I know my esophagus was hurting me once before, and the doctor put a camera. She said, well, you do have a polyp, but if you want to check your esophagus, go to your gastroenterologist. And I did, and she said, well, since it went away, the pain in your esophagus, let's not worry about it. Unless it happens again, then I need to go in and look at it. So I've been, frustrated. And, last year they didn't want to pay for the ENT because they said putting a camera down your throat is considered surgery, which is bull crap. And when they removed the skin with just a regular razor, it was no scalpel, no sedation, just remove the skin. Same thing. They said that's considered surgery, which is bull crap. So I didn't know what I was going to do. But I know that I was just feeling miserable between the pain in my esophagus, my ear still being clogged, my sinus infection just getting worse. Like these pustules were forming on there, and so when I woke up that morning with that pain in my esophagus, not with the pain in my esophagus, I stopped taking the steroids. They were working, though my ears were clearing up, but all the doctor could say was, you need to see your ENT again. And, see a cardiologist if you're getting chest pains. My blood pressure is up again. As I said, since this menopause, I've just been gaining weight. For the holidays, I barely cheated. I mean, barely cheated. Seriously. And if I even did cheat, because all I remember eating was a lot of Mediterranean food that month, which is supposed to be good for you, but I still gained almost 10 pounds. And so for the whole month of January, for half the month, I should say, I was being super duper duper careful or conscious of what I was eating. And anyway, this pain in my chest I was getting scared. It wasn't even a pain, it was a real tightness. So when I went to emergency room, when I said I'm getting chest pains, I think there was one person that had me. They might have been waiting for somebody. They just immediately came and got me, put me in a room, hooked me up to an IV, got some blood work, and said, we're going to do an EKG on you. And they did the EKG. Hey, babe. They did the EKG, and they said, they did an X-ray and said, we're gonna wait for the results. A lady walks in with the flu. She was the register nurse or whatever, with the flu, with her mask over her face, and she's like, oh, I'm here to register you. She could barely hear her because she couldn't really talk from being sick. I'm petrified. I'm like, I don't need this right now. She's handing me a pen, asking me for my ID, for my insurance, and it's like she's touching my stuff. And she had a mask on, but she didn't have gloves on. Oh my goodness! As soon as they forget I'm freezing. They don't bring me blankets. They don't bring me pillows. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was like change of shift or what. But I'm like, get Germex. The Germex container was empty. I'm like, what the frig? We found some wipes that were just pure alcohol. I slathered my ID, my insurance, my hands with this alcohol. And my husband, it was early in the morning, and my husband was like, I got to get to work. It was like still 7:30, and he said, I got to eat something before I go to work. And so it was like less than 2 hours. My husband finishes eating. It's like, I think it might be 8 exactly. He has to get to work. And they come and say, you're going home, there's nothing wrong with you. Then what's this chest infection? Indigestion. They started giving me IV for indigestion, made some cocktail, gave me pills, it's all for indigestion. I'm like, I don't have indigestion. I don't even have pain. I don't feel acid. I just have this really bad tightening with palpitations. Go to your cardiologist. I make the appointment for my gastroenterologist to check my esophagus, and then I make the appointment for my cardiologist. And I have maybe a couple of days before school starts. I've been going out even on the weekends because both me and my husband's phones we only had 16 gigs and the phones were full, and I couldn't do anything, and he needed it for his job. And I decided, you know what, with my husband's, they get whatever, the 1%, 2%, whatever raise it is, I'll just use that to pay off the phone, with my AT&T Next or whatever. I can't even, because they have like different plans. So we went and we, did it. We got the 128 gigs. So I've been going out every weekend, and haven't really rested. School's almost starting. Haven't really been resting. Haven't been feeling well. My ears are still clogged. And I had maybe one day left before school. Now, when we were out over the weekend, I brought home, now this is all before the 14th of the month. This is, and we bought our dogs at the dollar store because of the new dollar makeup had come out. Gifts, because we didn't give them gifts for Christmas. So we give it to them. They tore it up, and the house floor was a mess. And because I'm not feeling well, everybody's exhausted, we're just making the house a mess again. I'm like, I really don't want to go back to school with this house like this. It was so nice for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So instead of resting, I start cleaning. I have the kids cleaning in the kitchen. I'm cleaning the table. The bathroom wasn't too bad, so, I'm scrubbing my brushes. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm like, I gotta think of a different way. It's really my foundation brushes. I can't just leave them like that for a month or two. I gotta soak them and then clean them in a week. And my body, I'm doing my pills. I'm also slowly trying to get my metformin back in to lose the weight. My body starts shaking uncontrollably. I thought I was going to have to go back to the emergency room. We had an ice storm. I call it an ice storm. It wasn't as bad as like everything encased in ice, but there was ice all over the floor. It was like everything was closed for 2 days because it was so dangerous to go out. And it was freezing. It was like in the 20s, which is below freezing. I mean, I'm from New York. Even for me, 40 is comfortable, but anything like 20s, no, that's cold. And here I am, Texanized, got used to all this hot weather, and then to have this. I don't know if it's that my body was cold. I don't know if my family and my husband, my kids think that my body was just so run down from exhaustion and from stress that I could not stop shaking. My whole body shaking uncontrollably. I couldn't make it stop. No pain in my chest or anything like that. Just I couldn't stop. Like from inside the bones, going up my spine into my neck, shaking uncontrollably, and they're trying to get me to go back to the emergency room. I'm like, not in this weather, not for them to send me home in 2 hours. The bill was like $10,000, I think, or $12,000, and they paid like $10,000. I have to pay $2,000 of that. Not really sure how they figure things, but whatever. Certain things go towards your deductible, your out of pocket. Certain things they cover. I don't even know anymore with Blue Cross Blue Shield. But I just did not want to go. I did not want to go. It's, we have ice outside. They're just gonna send me home again. I said I don't want to go. So they call my husband. My husband rushes home, which they shouldn't even have really been open, to be honest. But a lot of the people live on property, so those are the ones that went. Those that live far away were not coming. And my husband just rushed home and said, "That's it. I'm gone. I'm gonna take care of my wife." He put the heat to like almost the highest. They wrapped me up in quilts, and my daughter made me a hot chocolate, and finally it stopped. I'm like, I can't wait to see my cardiologist. I don't know what's wrong, I looking stuff up about what could have caused it. And it said your blood sugar could be low. And I'm like, but I have high blood sugar. I have diabetes. And in the hospital, they told me that before they let me go in the emergency room, they said my nothing wrong with my blood, nothing wrong with my x-rays, EKG, nothing. So right now, all I could think about, I wasn't even thinking about the ENT. I wasn't thinking about anything else. I need to see a rheumatologist too for my arthritis. I have so many things that I need to follow up on. But right now, it was just my heart that I was worried about, and my esophagus. I don't know if you could get esophagus cancer. I don't know what it is. Why am I in this pain? What's going on? First day of school. I take my son to school, and it's mornings. Oh, when my son saw me like that, they dropped his third class. He tried to get back on, and they let him get back on, but I was like, I don't know, there might not even be class. And then he said, when he saw me like that, he said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and drop that third class. They dropped me from it anyway. I don't know what's going on. What a fiasco that was. Messed up with the financial aid, but anyway, he said so that I could rest. So first day of school, we're getting up early. I'm not an early person. I like to get up. I move like a snail. I'll make breakfast, relax a little bit before I start putting on my makeup to go out. I like to start getting ready 2 hours early before I have to leave. And now I can't, since I have lots of pain, I'm not sleeping well, I can sleep in. I can't do that now. Now I have to get up, brush my teeth, eat breakfast, start getting ready, and then drive my son to school. And it wasn't that bad. It was maybe because it was the morning and it was after the rush hour. It was a pretty smooth drive. No, it wasn't a lot of traffic. It was just pretty smooth. Got there pretty peacefully. Just went to Dunkin' Donuts and got the new white chocolate coffee, which is my favorite, white chocolate flavor. I got my white chocolate coffee, and since it's Dunkin' Donuts, I told them they only do almond milk. And it's so bitter when they use it. I do half cream, half almond milk. Sat there and just enjoyed the white chocolate coffee. I brought some yogurt to eat. I did my nails. I read. I'm into really into Sudoku lately. So it wasn't that bad. Krispy Kreme was having a party that evening from 5 to 8 as a grand opening. When we got there were maybe 10 people there already. The first person got there 7 something in the morning. The first person on the line gets free Krispy Kreme, a box of hot, well, doesn't have to be hot, whenever he wants to come. A dozen glazed donuts every week. I was just there for the party. I just thought it might be fun. They said we're going to have food, so I thought they were going to distribute some donuts. I wanted to see if they were going to have some hot glazed donuts. No, they got pizza. I didn't even touch it. Because when I went to the doctor, which I forgot to mention, I was flabbergasted. With me being so careful, so conscious of what I ate, I gained 2 more pounds. I feel like that lady from The Story Is Us. I think that she's me. Except that my body doesn't function past a certain weight. And I feel like my body's just breaking down right now. I am beyond exhausted. I was so frustrated. Anyway, so I did not touch the pizza, and I was ready to leave. I was ready to leave at about 7:15. My daughter was having so much fun. It was, it's been between the 20s and the 40s at that time 2 weeks ago, and so we were there, and I was about to leave. I mean, we were having fun. Like, I won the Name That Song contest, and my husband and my daughter were, doing the dance contests. I mean, we were just enjoying ourselves, and then they had spin the wheel, and I got a Krispy Kreme chapstick, and I mean, we were just having fun, but I was already tired. So we were about to leave, and the manager was like, man, you guys have been having so much fun, don't leave. Don't you want free Krispy Kreme for the year? Because the first person gets free Krispy Kreme every week, and then the rest of the 100 get free Krispy Kreme, one box a month of the glazed. And I really didn't want to, but he was like, man, you guys just seem to be having fun, just stay, blah blah blah. And I said, well, I need to go home, I need to take a shower. I need to, so take turns. I don't care. The rule is you have to be there all night. And there were people like coming and checking to see, if everybody was out there, because you would get disqualified if you weren't. And basically people just pulled up their cars, put the quilts in their cars for the most part, and slept in the car. Some just were wrapped up in a quilt out there, or they just stood up all night keeping warm, hanging out, talking to people. And so that's what we did. We took turns, and one of us would come home, we'd take a shower, get dressed, and then I got my daughter, brought her home, took a shower, got dressed, got our coats, got our sweater, I got my gloves, my scarf, my hat, brought all the quilts. And basically, one of us stood outside while the other two stayed in the car, and then another one stood. And at one point, it was starting to drop into the high 30s, and we just all stood in the car. And then he showed up at about 4 a.m, and then jumped out of the car so he'll know we were there. And at some point you're talking to people. It was potential drama. People were saying they would leave to go to the bathroom. So there's a 24-hour Denny's. And then somebody would take their spot, and they'd be feared. Hey, who took my spot? It's like, hello, it's not, I got your name on it. Even the cops kept coming around and checking up. People are saying that they were here before the other ones, and they made a list and they didn't put their name on it. I mean, there was potential drama, but it wasn't that bad. I had my chair. And what gets me mad is that because I decided to stay at the last minute, I would have been 10th in line, and it was freaking freezing out there. And because by 8 o'clock another 20 people showed up, I was number like 22, and so I was freezing, man. The guy shows up and he started a line. He started calling it, if you were not there, you lost your place. And it goes, because we thought that they looked like there was 100 people there. Unfortunately, there was like 120. I felt so bad for the other people who stood out all night. The line was going like around the building, and so basically if you were not there, then your number went to the next people in line. And people started writing lists, and he's like, I'm not going by any lists. And the cops were there. They were not playing. He was not playing. He did not want any drama. The cops were there. He said, I don't care about any of your lists. You better form a line, and it has to be a neat line. And these people were trying to jump ahead of us who've been there all night. He's like, no, get back behind a certain line. And it wasn't bad, basically. I think about maybe 10 or less people did not show up, so it went to the next 10. So still, the other 10 didn't get. I felt bad, but I was freezing. I was number 22. And so we were going in, and it was like a whole process to go in. You had to get your card, you had to go on the line, you had to get served. And, they're buying other things, they're buying other donuts, they're buying the coffee. So I was so mad that I didn't do it from the beginning, because I really didn't want to stay there all night. But the guy, said, come on, because we're having so much fun. He's like, oh, you should stay. And anyway, I don't regret it. It was, I did want to do it, but I knew that it was going to be really, really hard on my body. And we did it. We all did it together. It was me, my daughter, and my husband did it. And if you think about it, even though we don't get 52 boxes, we still get something like 45, because each of us got a card. So 3 weeks out of the month, we get a box of Krispy Kreme. And I know, and the other reason why I didn't want to do it is because I really don't need it. I gained 2 pounds from being, on a diet. But it was just an experience. I kind of always wanted to do it when I learned that you could do this like 3 years ago. So it was just fun for the experience. I did it, you know. It's not like it was like 0 degrees, you know. And so I was on the news. I was on the news. The news was there. They were talking to the first guy, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm number 22." They're not gonna see me. No, I was like right there on the line. I had my wheelchair because my arthritis has gotten so bad, and so you see me rolled in on the wheelchair. I was on the news.